Welcome back, guys. So I did something I never thought I would do, and it all started with this moped right here. I've never had a moped or a scooter or a motorcycle or anything, and I got this at a great price, and just for something fun to drive around the neighborhood, kind of a why not. So it's got a 150cc engine, so it can get up and go pretty good. Got used to it, driving it around, and then I decided I wanted something bigger and better. So here's what I did. So as you guys can see, I did go with the 2022 Harley-Davidson Sportster Iron 883. I did get this thing brand new, and I know a lot of people say don't buy a brand new bike for your first bike, but the used ones I was looking at that were just a couple years older weren't much more expensive, and they also had some modifications on there I didn't necessarily like. So I just went ahead and pulled the trigger, spent a little bit more money, and then this thing is bone stock, and then I can make it any way I want. Once I start riding this thing more, getting a feel for it, then I'll be able to do any modifications I want. But this thing is bone stock, except for the mustache engine guard right there. I did put that on there since I am learning how to ride. I'd rather have that on there in case I drop it. And the reason why I went with the Sportster is I did a lot of research on what is the best bike for a beginner. So I knew I didn't want anything with too big of an engine or too much torque while I'm learning how to ride. And this does have the 883cc engine, but there are aftermarket kits out there to where you can upgrade that to 1200, 1250, or even 1275. So I can add some power to this thing if I want to down the road. And there are so many aftermarket parts for this thing, you can customize it to make it your own, which I'm gonna do. I think the first thing I'm gonna do is move these mirrors, because the way they're set up right now, I can't see out of them. All I see is my arm and or shoulder. So I think I'm gonna just flip them down underneath the handlebars for right now, unless I can find a little bit extended ones. But it's pretty easy just to flip these things down, and a lot of people do that. But I did go check out a bunch of bikes, sat on a bunch of different ones, and I just kept coming back to this one. My height being 5'10", and these being mid controls, I get a good feel. My legs aren't too cramped or anything like that. Plus, I didn't want anything to where I'd have to hunch forward, so the handlebars on this is really good. And the way it's set up, I feel like I get good control of it, and I didn't want anything too big since I am learning how to ride a motorcycle. I will be taking a learn to ride course here before too long, but of course you got to take it out and learn how to do it on your own, right? But I do love this black denim paint on this. It's more of a flatter matte black than a glossy black. So I do love the just full on blacked out look of this bike versus having all that chrome. And the controls on this thing are pretty simple. You have a speedometer right there, and there is a gauge right here where you can tell your trip level or your RPMs and what gear you're in. It also has blinkers on either side. It's got your horn, high and low beams, and then of course your starter, kill switch, and hazards are on that side as well. A lot of the new bikes do have fobs, but this one does still have a key, as you can see right there. And then this is the Evo V-twin engine. And I believe this is the last year that they are making these Sportster bikes. Another upgrade that I'm going to make soon is the exhaust. The stock exhaust is okay. It's pretty quiet. You don't get that Harley sound that you typically hear. So for right now, I'm just going to get some Vance & Hines slip-on mufflers to get that better sound without having to do the full stage 1 kit for now. I'll eventually do that later on down the road. Again, the stock bike does come with the mid controls, but they do make forward controls if you are a little bit bigger or want that extra legroom. And then you'll see with the rear shocks, they are adjustable. I know even the stock ones being adjustable isn't the best, but that does help a little bit. Gives you some more flexibility without having to replace these right away. But this thing has been fun to ride so far, and I'm going to keep making some videos on some of the upgrades I do and just my experience riding it. One of these days I'll get a GoPro and install that on the helmet so you guys can watch me ride a little bit. If you guys have one of these bikes of your own, let me know down in the comments what you've done to it, what kind of upgrades you guys like and think this bike needs, and I'll be doing some research as well. If you guys have any tips for a new rider, just let me know down there as well. But we'll go ahead and let you hear the stock exhaust really quick. So again, it's pretty quiet. It's not that true Harley exhaust sound. We'll definitely be getting that upgraded here soon.